You found us. You found us again. Dagnabbit. No, welcome. Welcome to my, this was formerly known as the COVID closet. Now I guess it's the pre-election closet. Got my vote t-shirt up there with the uterine T. That's not to indicate a bias or a preference, just, I guess, when it comes to the alphabet, the uterine T is a substantial T. Welcome to my takeout, my takes on all things considerable. My name is Emil, Emil Amok to you. I use the Amok part. It's the Filipino part. This is WDAAAT. What does an Asian American think? That's what we call it. You can catch us on, it's on ASAM News now, asamnews.org or .com. I'm not sure if they cop to, they're a nonprofit. So maybe it's asamnews.com, but I think asamnews.org. Anyway, check them out. Asam News. Google it. And my column is there. I write about doing your list. You know, if Kamala has a to-do list because Donald Trump has an enemies list, well, make your own list. My list is going to be different from yours, but maybe it's the same after today, if you saw what Donald Trump had to say. So we talk about all that, all about the news. I'm a newsman who is a news talk guy, did a talk show in Sacramento, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and here, by virtue of the internet, I'm able to do a talk show just by clicking a few switches, reading the news, letting you know about what's in the news. And this is probably the most compact talk show that, you could listen to, unlike, those guys who go on for 3 hours and they've got mostly commercials and traffic on the fours and that kind of thing. No, I'll give you my take and you'll get it. I'll give you my take and there it is. And we'll do it all in under an hour, if that. In fact, we're going to do this now. This on the YouTube and on Twitter. This will be I guess it'll be the freebie. It'll be the one thing, Emil. The one thing, what does an Asian American think? I'll try to fit into. And then we'll have the after party on Patreon. The longer after party. Go to patreon.com/Emil Amok and get the rest of the story there. But I want to talk about stuff here because, there's some pressing issues still. We talked about Donald Trump jumping all over Joe Biden. And it's really the two old men going at it because that's what it is. It's an old man thing. Donald Trump seeing things quite differently than Joe Biden. Joe Biden was just saying, hey, listen, he was talking to a Latino group online and saying what a terrible thing that, Trump's supporters' comments, supporters, meaning, and it's spelled out, if you see Biden's transcript of it, it's his supporters, SUPPORTER', meaning singular, possessive, his supporters' view that Puerto Rico is garbage, not supporters, plural, and certainly not supporters, I guess you can have S apostrophe, the opinions of many supporters, the possessive plural, but no, it was singular. Supporters, meaning supporter apostrophe S. That was the view of Tony Hinchcliffe about Puerto Rico as garbage. And I know it said, this is the thing about English. You can say supporters, viewpoints. One supporter's viewpoint, not all of the support. It's grammar is what it is. And how many grammarians out there could even diagram Joe Biden's statement? Anyway, Donald Trump can't, and he's the stupidest president ever to be in the White House. He took the phrase of Biden's and tried to make it an attack. It was disingenuous, intellectually dishonest, and he made it a thing. He put on an orange vest yesterday, climbed onto a garbage truck that was branded Trump garbage, which is kind of appropriate for the kind of lying analysis that he presented to the American people. And then he just went out to say, oh, lying Kamala, lying Joe, crooked Joe, lying Kamala. It's ridiculous. But you thought that would be enough if he just stopped there. But no, he went on. He went on and he talked about women because he must be getting some information from his folks about how he's behind in women. And in fact, he is. And this is how Donald Trump proposes to make it up to the women. He said, let's see if you can hear this.
4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country.
So he said, 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the women of this country. He says, I want to protect the women.
To protect the women, sir. Please don't say that. Why? They said we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So, I said, well,
So he had advice. People say, hey, don't say that. We think it's inappropriate. He says it's inappropriate. And then Donald Trump, because he knows everything, responds this way.
To do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
I'm going to protect them whether they like it or not. Is that a protector or is that a bully? That's not a protector of women. Donald Trump, who has admitted that it was himself and himself alone. I mean, he doesn't want to give credit to the Supreme Court or anyone else. And he says, hey, I did it. I ended Roe v. Wade. I got the Dobbs decision. I got that stopped. That was me. Donald Trump, I did that to protect you, the women, because you don't know any better. I guess, right? So we thought we were out of this thicket of garbage, but no, we're not. We're not out of the thicket of garbage. We've just got more garbage as soon as Donald Trump walked into that garbage truck branded Trump Vance. And then he started speaking, and he started appearing in that orange vest, which is, wow, it just looks weird. Well, it clashes with his hair. It clashes with the hair. And then in a moment of candor, I guess because he hears all about the gender gap, which is far and wide in places like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, the key states, and everyone has to win Pennsylvania. And in his vast, superior sense of politics, retail politics, he says, I want to protect the women. My advisors say, no, don't. That's inappropriate. No, I want to protect the women, whether they like it or not. I'm going to protect them. That sounds like something forced. That sounds like something, well, anything forced is bad. Anything forced is potentially illegal if you force something on me. And we know that Donald Trump has been called liable for sexual assault for forcing himself on someone. And we know that's just one case that went forward. The case brought by E. Jean Carroll. But we know that there are at least a dozen other women, maybe more, who say, no, 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 no. Donald, we don't need you forcing yourself on anyone. But here we have the statement of Donald Trump saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to protect them, whether the women like it or not. So I don't know where this leaves Donald Trump. I guess he thought he was just commenting on the garbage, but because he climbed on his garbage truck, he's got more garbage, and the garbage extended toward the women in the audience who already don't like him. But maybe what this does is make him feel more, I don't know, maybe it bonds him to the bro culture, which Trump has an advantage there with the bro folks. I don't know if they're so low propensity voters, they're called, that it's unknown whether or not they'll show up. I mean, they'll go for the perks, but will they show up and actually vote? Unclear. Women are voting, and I think it's going to be up to the sisters to respond here. Donald Trump says, whether you like it or not, he's going to protect you. Here's what Kamala Harris said.
It actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies. And this is just how he thinks about women.
And that's Kamala Harris. She says, I think it's very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies. And this is just the latest on a series of reveals by the former president of how he thinks about women and their agency. That was her response this morning. She's heading to Reno, heading to Nevada. And I thought maybe, well, I couldn't do it, but I hope that some of you Californians out there are answering the call. There are people from the northern area, like around Sacramento, who are carpooling to Reno. There are people in the southern part of California who are going to Las Vegas. I mean, this is a door-knocking campaign, and I don't know if Donald Trump is helping himself by making these outrageous statements. What I think is happening is he is coalescing the bro folks, but he's alienating the women folks. And I don't know if that is going to do it for him, but it may help Kamala Harris immeasurably when it's just, it's a fine line between victory and defeat. And no one dares to say, dares to predict the outcome. It's so close, too close. And they were doing the swing states, North Carolina and Georgia, very tight virtual tie there. So the latest swing states polls from yesterday showed, CNN cited that Wisconsin and Michigan, there was like a slight, seems like a pull away for Harris. Then the garbage thing happened. Pennsylvania is tied. But now you've got this woman talk by Trump, and maybe this is enough to gain some kind of distance between Harris and Trump. I say this, and everyone is looking at what's happening in real life and then what's happening in the polls. And everyone I talk to, Trump supporters, Harris supporters, well, the Harris supporters they're anxiety ridden. They're saying, oh, what's happening here? We clearly have the better person. Why aren't we so far ahead? And then we have the Trump people I talk to who say, this is Trump. This is who he is. We don't care. They don't care. Is it moving the needle? Does anything move the needle anymore? And I think this is bad. I'm going to talk about this more on the after party. We'll talk about Halloween and all that other stuff. So check it out on the after party. I'll put it up on Patreon after 5 o'clock or so. But it should be there. Talking about some of my observations about the last few days, the garbage talk, and what isn't being said about Puerto Rico, some other things, and about Halloween. Halloween, I've never really noticed it so close to Election Day. So we'll talk about that on the after party. Sign up for it, patreon.com. I'll put it up after 5 o'clock Pacific time today. But that's going to do it for the one thing. It was more than one thing, I know, but it's going to be the thing people talk about. They're talking about Trump's female or woman comment. I think he's emboldened because there was a report in Axios I saw that said Trump is seeing memos, is being told that he's on the verge. Maybe it's a motivational thing to make the campaign seem like it's doing better than it is. I don't know. But Axios is reporting Trump is getting memos from internal memos saying, hey, he's on the verge. He could win. I think considering the polling, everyone can say that. And it might be down to the last gaffe. Who makes the last gaffe? And does it matter? I mean, we're really talking about single digit numbers of voters who might be persuadable, who might go, but that's all we're talking about in terms of a margin, single digits. So anyway, all right. So we're going to end this here. Hey, I want to talk to you about the Marsh. I'm doing this story time, my storyteller show, storyteller show. I'm telling a story about being a trans dad at the Marsh, November 4th. I'll tie it in somehow with the election. It should be fun. Just a 20-minute bit, an excerpt of my new show, Emil, Amok, 69. And check it out. And Marsh is at 1062 Valencia Street in San Francisco. Go to themarsh.org/Monday-night-Marsh-stream. Part of the Monday Night Marsh series. Happy to be there. All proceeds go to the Marsh. Marsh deserves it. Great program that they put on for artists like myself to do their thing. And we get to do our thing. So that's what I get out of it. Tickets are sliding scale. I think that the highest price is maybe $20. But you can, it's sliding scale, so no one will be refused. 1062 Valencia Street, San Francisco, November 4th, and then again on the 18th. So please come on by. It's going to be fun. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I may do laughter yoga at the party, at the Halloween party on Patreon, Emil Amok /Patreon. I mean, it's just me talking longer. Now that should turn you on. We like to close our sessions with a little loving kindness. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here.